This story isn't really on the internet. Like, we heard references to it and we tried to find the source material for it, but we couldn't. Like, we literally looked, we couldn't find it. It's a story out of Mexico. And so we finally had our Spanish language researcher track down this library in Mexico that had a copy of this story. There was a very unique recording and transcript, and it's being stored like locally at this library in Mexico. And so the way to access this story is you can't just like contact the library. You have to write them a letter to get access to this story.
To hear a story?
To just read the transcript.
To read a transcript.
In the story. It's the story without the transcript, not really a good story. You need the transcript, you'll see. So we followed their steps, we contact the library and we get access to the story, and they're like very weary of what we're gonna do with it, but they're like, okay. So in June of 1976, there's this 23-year-old kid named Rafael Perez, and he's training to be a pilot, and he flies his training missions, if you will. He's a civilian, so he flies his training flights out of this airport in Chimalhuacán, Mexico. It's about 3 hours inland from Acapulco. And this kid, he's flown many times, but always with another pilot. So he's learning how to fly a small plane, like a Cessna, and on this day in June, he's gonna fly on his own for the first time. The flight profile was very simple. You're gonna take off like you always have, fly in a loop, come back and land. Nothing more to it. You're basically demonstrating you can do it without panicking on your own. And keep in mind, in 1976, the controls, the instruments inside of the aircrafts were pretty rudimentary. Like, they didn't have GPS systems. It was sort of like you had like your compass and you had your altimeter, but honestly, a lot of flying was literally reckoning, like looking out the window and just seeing where you were, right? So he takes off at 9:15 a.m. It's June 23rd of 1976. He takes off. Right away, he notices that it's very foggy. Looking out the window, he's got limited access to reference points on the ground, so he really has not really a good sense of where he is. He's using his instruments and he's sort of guessing when he's supposed to make this turn, to bank around, to come in and land. But on his approach back to the airport, he's successfully done this flight. He can't quite find the airport. Like, he's struggling to see it. But at a certain point, based on his instruments, he realizes he's off course, he's lost. And so he tries calling in with a radio back to the control tower to be like, I'm lost, like, I'm letting you know, it's gonna take me a minute. He doesn't really hear back from them. It's sort of garbled static. And then he realizes, oh, I need to fly back left. I need to go left. So he takes the yoke, the steering wheel, and he tries to bank the airplane left. But the airplane doesn't go left. It just continues flying level at 7,000 feet in a straight line. And he's thinking, okay, there's clearly some sort of issue here. It's okay. He's not panicking. He hops on the radio and he says, hey, I'm having some issues. I can't go left. He tried going right. Nothing's affecting the plane. It's flying straight at 7,000 feet. He hops on the radio. He starts talking like, what do I do here? I can't do anything to my plane. And as he's trying to get a hold of anybody who's not getting back in touch with him, but we have his voice being recorded into this radio, the plane actually begins to climb, and he's not pulling back on the yoke. He's not making the plane climb. The plane is climbing on its own. And so it begins to climb.